If you want a set of crisp headlights to transform the look and the lighting performance on the front end of your 2021 through 2023 F-150 that has the factory non-projector headlights, these Diode Dynamics Elite Series LED headlights with the black housing and the clear lens is a set you should be checking out. Now, headlights are one of those mods that can really make a difference when it comes to the appearance of the front and your confidence while you're driving at night. And this set is for that F-150 owner who wants a premium set of headlights to turn both of those issues around. Now, these bring a darker look to the front and a tougher appearance, a full LED design for clean lighting performance if you're currently struggling to see at night, and this set has some additional features that make the truck stand out if you want a set that has it all and balances it well. Now, the lighting here is obviously one of the biggest takeaways here from this set, with the stacked by LED, the customizable LED DRL, and the lower LED light strip. Now, the driving lights make the most difference here, outperforming the factory halogens or the factory reflectors tenfold, with an LED that is higher output, paired with the projector lens that enhances the beam's uniformity and helps you see a little bit clearer, and the color temperature for a more modern and crisp appearance, as I had mentioned. Now, the outer light bar is also notable with the blade style LEDs for that DRL that you can configure into a white or amber color, all being selectable from inside the F-150 using existing controls, making this set very unique in the fact that it needs no additional switches or controllers in order to customize that lighting. Now, the lower light bar also illuminates amber for the turn signal and features a sequential function, but if that sequence is not your vibe, you can customize that as well, changing to a static blinking function. Now, along with the big improvement in lighting performance, the deep black housing here with the sporty layered details on the inside, in addition to a little bit of chrome, really incorporate a stealthy look without taking away from any lighting performance, thanks to the crystal clear lens on the front, so you can have the best of both worlds. These headlights have a high quality build made of a tough OE style plastic on the back, so it's going to hold up very well, and it makes for a direct swap into the truck. Now, on the front, this has a UV coated polycarbonate lens, which is resistant to impacts and also resistant to yellowing or oxidation over time, keeping the sharp appearance. And in addition to the look, these also are sealed with an IP67 dust and waterproof rating, so you can ensure that those LEDs inside are going to remain safe. Speaking of those LEDs, these are also much more efficient compared to halogens with a long lifespan, even with the higher output. Now, the back of these houses also have an aluminum heat sink for efficient cooling for those LEDs, breather vents for proper ventilation with fluctuating conditions, and they also are a plug-and-play setup that include all of the wires needed in order to get these mounted up and plugged in to your F-150. As I mentioned, these are more of a premium choice in the category at about $1,700. Now, the price point here is for good reason, considering the materials, the design, and the lighting performance and function that you're getting with this set compared to some other entry-level choices. If you know you want the most out of a set of headlights for your truck and you're willing to invest the extra couple bucks in order to do so. Now, with that, compared to other higher performance options, this also keeps more of a simple look with the bi-LED and keeps the DRL to the border if you prefer that appearance compared to a busier design. Now, overall, I think if you are looking for a higher performance set of headlights and you're willing to invest a couple extra bucks in order to get that for your F-150, then this is going to be a fantastic choice to look at. Now, install here is completely plug and play. This does come with all of the wiring harnesses needed, and even though this does look like a lot, don't let it intimidate you. Everything is easy here when it comes to the install. It's going to be a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and it should only take about an hour or so to complete. Now, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to one of our installers. They're going to show you how you can get these onto your F-150's front end. So that's going to wrap it up for what I have to say. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
For this install, you need a 3/8 ratchet, 3/8 extension, a 10, 8, and 7mm socket, and a clip removal tool. All right, today we're going to be installing some headlights on our F-150. First, we're going to watch a quick video to uninstall the stock ones, then we'll come back here to install the new ones.
So we've got our hood popped, and the first thing we're going to need to do is remove this upper shroud. There are many push clips holding it in place, so we've got a push clip removal tool, and we're going to pop those all out and get our shroud out of the way. So we have our clips out. Pull our shroud up and out of the way. There's one more over here, don't forget that one. Now that we have our shroud out of the way, we can get to our 4 10mm screws holding our upper portion of our grill in place, as well as unplugging our electrical connectors and our washer fluid reservoir connector that is located in here. So we'll do that first and we'll get our screws out. So we'll get these unplugged. For our washer fluid connector, you simply need to squeeze on the oval side. It should pop right out. Sometimes it can be a little tough, but it should come right out. Unplug this one for our shutter. Camera connector. Now in addition to that, we have a clip holding this part of our harness onto our grill. We're going to grab our clip removal tool. Just pop that right out of there. All this can get moved out of the way. Then we can come in with our 10mm socket and remove our screws. Now you notice we have one missing, but you should have 4 here. Now you notice we have one of our screws missing, but you should have 4 10mm screws up here. We're going to grab our 10mm socket on our impact and remove those. Now while we're up here, we're also going to remove these 5 push clips holding our bracket and grill together. Again, with our clip removal tool, pop those up and out. Next, we're going to have to remove the lower front trim panel below our grill. In order to do that, we're going to have to remove the 2 7mm screws in each of our wheel well at the back side. So we've got our 7mm socket on our ratchet. We're going to pull these out. And once you have this out, you can grab onto this panel, pop it out of its place, and do the same thing for the other side. Now that we have our mounting screws out, we can pull our lower trim panel. We're going to grab this firmly, pop that off. Next, we're going to remove the lower 8mm mounting screws for our grill. So we've got our 8mm socket on our impact. We'll run these off. And you've got one on the other side as well. Now we can grab our grill and give it a firm tug. Set it aside. So for this grill, because it does have lighting, we're also going to need to remove the passenger side headlight. And to do that, we're going to grab our 10mm socket and our 8mm socket along with a clip removal tool. We'll show you how to get that out. So you should have a push clip right here for your locator, which you would use a clip removal tool to pop out. As you can see, ours is no longer with us. Now we're going to remove the 2 10mm screws up top, again with our 10mm socket. Now we can remove our 2 lower mounting points, which is an 8mm screw and a 10mm nut on this stud. As you can see, it's right back there. So we'll grab our 10mm socket along with an extension. Get this one off first. You want to be careful not to drop it. And we'll grab our 8mm socket for our other screw. Now that we have all of our mounting screws out, we can remove and unplug our headlight. Once we have that out, grab our connectors. We got 2 main ones. You also have one for your marker bulb that's up back here. We can set this aside.
So now we're gonna get our new headlight installed. As you can see, I have our adapter harness already plugged into our headlight. We have another connector here, just ignore that for now. That is if you get the add-on fog light option. But here, we're gonna grab our harness. So we're not gonna use all of these plugs. This is used for both versions of this headlight. So we're gonna use just our main headlight connector here. And then we have our marker light, which will be the smaller one. And then our turn signal, which is this one right here. These other two could just rest down here out of the way. And we're just gonna get our headlight back into place. Just gonna get this around our bottom stud down here and over the top. Now we can get our headlight resecured. So we're gonna reinstall our two 10mm bolts up top. Now you would also have a push clip that goes in right here. We are missing ours, but you wanna make sure you reinstall that. We're gonna grab our ratchet and 10mm socket, tighten these two bolts down. So now we have our stud on the bottom here, so we're gonna grab our ratchet, extension, and 10mm socket. I have our nut already in there. Just gonna get that on our bottom stud here. Now once you have this headlight all secured, you can go to repeat the same thing on the other side. So next we can get our grill located back in place. So we're just gonna line up all of our locating pins, get our harness buck out of the way, and give it a good tap in place. So now on the bottom of our headlight and grill, we have our two bolts. So we have our 10mm on our grill. We'll grab our ratchet and socket, tighten that down. Then we're gonna grab our 8mm socket and tighten our one on the bottom of our headlight here. Then you go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Now we can get our lower trim piece on, so we're just gonna line up all of our tabs. Give that a push on and secure it over our wheel wells. Now we can go ahead and secure our bolts on either side. All right, we have our two 7mm bolts on either side. Just gonna tighten those down. Thread them in first. Then we'll grab our ratchet and 7mm socket. You can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So now we have our 4 bolts for our top of our grill. Now we only have 3. So we're just gonna thread those in, grab our ratchet and socket and tighten them down. And we can also do our connectors at the same time too. So we have our 3 connectors here. Do our one for our camera, other plug here, and then our washer line. Simply just push together. Just tuck those down out of the way. Then we can go ahead and get our cover on. Line all of that up. And then reinstall all of our push clips going across. So we have our big ones across the front here that go into our grill. And our other ones for our cover going all the way across. There's gonna be a couple of them here that you can't see just because they're tucked behind. All right, now you're all set to go. So real quick, we're just gonna go over a quick demo of how to change the options for the DRLs from white to amber. It's nice and simple. You're just gonna have your lights off. You're gonna turn it on to parking and just do that 3 times. And then you'll see your lights start to flash in the front. Obviously you can't see that right now, but you'll see them flashing in the front. And then simply you just hit the high beams and you'll switch through the different changes in the headlights. And that wraps up our install of our Diode Dynamics Elite Series LED headlights with a black housing and clear lens for our 2021-23 F-150 with factory non-projector headlights. And remember, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.